Well, welcome back to the Red Green Show. Alice Kidd will get that reference. Anyway, update on the daily. This thing's a little 4.3. It's a 94 throttle body injected. Kind of developed a misfire last night. I pulled the distributor cap off and they were really crusty, so I cleaned it up some just with a flathead screwdriver and it ran better. I got the spark plugs out of it now and they don't look, come on, focus, fuck, there we go. They don't look that bad, honestly. I feel like they were somewhat recently done. Update on the red truck. I blew it up. The TBI 350, as of Monday, May 11th, is dead. Locked it up solid. There's a hole in the oil pan. Right there, I think at my fingertip. Yep, there it is. Right there where my fingertip is down here, there's a hole in the oil pan. So this engine is done, which kind of sucks because it's got new head gaskets. I just put the shorty headers on. It's got a new distributor. You can see we blocked off the vacuum line to the EGR, and that solved a lot of the part throttle drivability issues that this thing had. So the EGR was definitely part of the cause. New alternator too. Fuck. I put a lot of new parts on this engine just to have it blow up so soon, which, I mean, I was planning on replacing it anyway, just wasn't planning on doing it just yet. But lots of parts for the green truck I can reuse. The alternator, plug wires, plugs, all that stuff's new. All the stuff on the accessory drive, power steering pump, all that stuff is still salvageable. Just the block and crank are definitely done. Pretty sure it chucked a rod. I don't know, we'll need to pull it apart and do an autopsy on it for sure. Back to this one though, I was planning on taking that 350, rebuilding it into a 383, and just dropping it in this one, which obviously I can't do now with the hole in the block and the oil pan and all that stuff being trashed. But I do still kind of plan on a 383 for this truck because, as you can see, a little bit of rust back there on the back, but it's not in too bad a shape. This is probably what I'm going to drive to Haspin. It just pulls the trailer a lot nicer than the Ranger, even though it is two-wheel drive. I just won't hit any trails with it, I guess. But yeah, a lot of parts off of that 350 are probably going to find their way onto this, just so I don't have to buy new. So we'll update there. This thing is just completely locked up solid. I'll grab the key. Now you'll hear the starter clunk, but you won't hear it turn. I tried to bump start it while I was coasting down the road. It happened coming through an intersection or out of an intersection, a four-way stop. Just shifting about 3,000. I was going to grab third in about 45 miles an hour, probably under about 60% throttle, and my foot was still in the clutch and it just died. So I was running really, really low on gas. You can see the gauge there. That's pretty much what I was looking at going down the road. So I just thought maybe I'm out of gas and tried to start it back up to where I could get it into a driveway or maybe get another quarter mile out of it or something. And nope, the starter wasn't budging it. So I tried bump starting it and it just locked up the back tires in third gear. So I knew at that point this engine was done. I get out and I see it pouring oil and coolant all over the ground, which there's a little bit down there now. Most of it had drained out by the time we got it home. But oil, coolant, all of it, it's done. So anyway, that's kind of what's happened to it right now. So here's kind of my plan. As you guys may or may not have seen from the Instagram, I've got this this engine here. I thought it was a 5.3 when I bought it. That's what the guy told me. But as you can see, it's got flat top pistons, so it's a 4.8. I was going to put forged pistons, forged rods, and a junkyard 5.3 crank in it, get it balanced, and just build this. It's got the 862 heads. That is drive-by cable. Obviously a truck engine being a 4.8 with an iron block and that big ugly ass intake manifold, which that's one of the best intakes you can even get for one of these. So yeah, it's ugly, but they make power. Anyway, it dropped a valve. The valve spring came out in 3 pieces. There's the offending cylinder there, cylinder number 3, and it was the intake valve that dropped. So I don't know, I might build this in the future, but my buddy has an engine with the harness, the accessories. It's a 5.3, still running in the truck, with 160,000 miles that he wants $500 for. So I might just go that route, drop it in stock cam and everything, and get the swap happy here in the chassis. Get the wiring to talk, get the computer mounted, all the wiring ran and all that. And then later on, if I have to pull it out, it would be really easy to just drop in a built motor and not have to worry about wiring and mounts and accessories and stuff like that. It'll just drop in and work. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, which really sucks because I just got the license plate for it now that the BMV is open after all this COVID shit. So it was just finally legal to drive all the way and blows up on like the 3rd drive legally. So that sucked. And then 2 days later, this thing starts misfiring last night on my way home. And I'm like, well, fuck. In 3 days, I lost both my Chevy trucks. But this one at least still runs. It had good oil pressure still. So pretty sure it's just ignition. The fuel injector spray looked pretty good. So it's just something with the ignition system. It might just need a cap and rotor, which it wouldn't surprise me, but it's only $30 in parts, so I might just do it anyway. I thought I'd pull the spark plugs out and just check them, and I think they all look decent. Leave a comment down below if you know anything about those, because they almost look like they're flash rusted, but I mean, they all look about the same. Which, I mean, those look pretty damn new to me. I've had this thing for a year. I've only put maybe 6,000 miles on it or so. Maybe only 5,000. And the guy I got it from, I called him this morning. He said he thinks he put them in about a year before I got it. So they've been in there for 2 years now, probably, give or take. I'll need to look up the part number and see if those are copper or platinum, or, I mean, they don't look like platinum or iridium, so I assume they're copper, but if they are, you know, maybe they're at the end of their useful life. I don't know. He daily drove this thing like 40 minutes each way to work, so it wouldn't surprise me if those things have 30,000 miles on them by now. So, you know, maybe it's just time, but I think I'll be able to use the spark plugs from this truck in it, because I've got maybe 300 miles on those before I blew that one up. So yeah, I'll just start swapping parts around and see what I can make work. But anyway, a little garage update here on the Red Green fiasco. For those of you who don't know who Red Green is, he's a Canadian comedian. Just look him up. He's pretty funny. He reminds me a lot of my best friend's grandpa. So if you don't know who he is, watch a few of his videos and you'll get a kick out of it. But see ya.